Hi all, again it's Carrie with Mountain Mermaid Wellness, and in my last video on nourishment tips I was talking about how in yoga we connect with the water element through our hips. So if we're wanting to connect with what that means in our bodies and to kind of awaken that element so that we can connect more with our emotions is through getting to know our hips and letting them be more in a fluid, feminine nature. So I'm going to show you some things you can do to really loosen up your hips and to connect in with that sacral energy chakra of the hips and the water element. So you're going to come to standing, just in a comfortable standing position with your knees slightly bent, hands on your hips, and you're just going to begin to make hip circles. And starting just at the base of your spine, as if you were just trying to move your tailbone. You're going to start just in really small circles. And this might be where you stay. This is where you feel good. Maybe you'd like to explore making your circles a little bit bigger as you move with your breath. Letting your knees bend, just letting your hips move, circling one to one side. And then you can pause and switch directions. Breathing in, breathing out as you let your hips release toward the earth. And then come to a pause in your center and let your hips start to move side to side, adding a little bit of sass, a little attitude. You know, think of a teenager that kind of looks at you with their hip to one side like, I don't think so. Just let your hips move in this lateral motion as you breathe. There's no right or wrong way to do any of this. Just let your hips move and let your breath move with your hips. And then come to a pause. You can do any of these for 10 times. And then let's rock our hips forward and back like in cat-cow pose. So you'll tilt your hips forward, your sitting bones reach up behind you, and then you'll draw your tailbone under. Inhale, tilt your pelvis forward. Exhale, drawing your tailbone under. Moving your pelvis forward and back like this really frees up energy for your bladder, for your elimination reproductive organs. Really good at releasing the fronts of your hips and letting your lower spine and tailbone move in its fluid. Good, and then you can come to a pause. And this last one is going to be making figure eights with your hips. Again, they could start really small, and then you can grow in their width and length as you're inspired. Not just making your body move, but going where it's ready to explore and letting yourself get into the movements, thinking about moving through water. Still breathing. And then pause and switch directions with your figure eights. And you can stay here as long as you like. And then you can pause and then just shake it out a little bit. So that's a good way to move into the water element of your hips. Here are a couple things you can do to support your kidneys and bladder. So with your bladder, cobbler pose or Baddha Konasana in the Sanskrit. Soles of the feet come together, heels are pressing together, outer tone of the outer leg so that the inner thigh line to your inner shin can open. You can bring your hands behind you to lift up through your chest and to send your energy downward, really helping the fluids to head downward. And you can stay here for 3 to 5 breaths or longer just to really let yourself settle into this pose. For your kidneys, to dispel fear that can be held in your kidneys, I'm going to show you an energy medicine yoga exercise from Donna Eden's work. So you're going to place yourself in a little ball on the floor, knees to your chest, keeping your head lifted, chin in toward your chest. You're going to close your eyes and imagine that as you exhale, you're going to be blowing out a blue candle of a flame. So you'll inhale, and as you exhale through the lips, you'll pretend like you're blowing out this blue flame that will not go out with your breath, but that's what you're going to focus on for 1 minute. You can even bring an image of your kidneys and your low back, sending that blue light, blue flame image into your kidneys as you breathe in, exhale out through your lips, pursing your lips like you're blowing out a candle. If your head and neck get tired, you can always lower them down and continue with the exercise, taking a rest and then coming back in. And when you're complete, you can lower down. So you'll do that for 1 minute. Okay, let me know how those go. Try them out.